Hello everyone. In this video, we will be sharing the experience of Miss Rituparna Chatterjee, who has been placed as an applications engineer in Oracle. Before we listen to Rituparna, I would like to introduce her formally to our viewers. Rituparna is a final year MTech student in the Department of Civil Engineering at IIT Bombay. Her MTech specialization is geotechnical engineering. Her technical skills include familiarity with programming languages such as C, C++, Python, etc. She has completed several online courses on data science and machine learning. She also has a good hold of data structures and algorithms. She secured an All India rank of 770 in GATE Civil Engineering in 2019. She completed BTech in Civil Engineering from Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology, also known as IIEST Shivpur, in 2018. Without further delay, I would request Rituparna to share her experience of getting placed in Oracle. Thank you, Rituparna. Thank you for accepting my request and taking out time from your busy schedule.
Yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you,
Yeah.
Ritu. So, Ritu, could you please tell us a bit about the firm Oracle and the profile which you have been selected for?
Okay. So Oracle is basically it started with its database management software products that we all know, Oracle, MySQL, etc. And now it's a big enterprise software company because when a certain company grows into business, it has to maintain all of its data, employee records, payroll records, and sales finance records, and manage them as well. So what Oracle does is it provides some kind of software solution so these enterprises can manage those data automatically. Okay, so mainly it does that, and now it has started working in cloud engineering too, I think.
Yes, Ritu. Yeah. So, we would also like to know about the profile, that is applications engineer. So, what
Mm.
was written in the job announcement form? If you could walk us through that as
Yeah.
well.
So as per the JF, as per I can understand, this role will handle mostly the business softwares like Oracle Fusion applications. There are many business units mentioned in the JAP. We haven't got introduced to them yet, but there were like Oracle Fusion applications, Oracle Cloud solutions, customer experience solutions, and then supply chain management, those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think once we join, we get allotted to any of those units.
Yes, yes, obviously. Obviously, once you join, then you will get to know
Yeah,
the details of that
yeah, yeah.
program. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Ritu. So your journey or your placement seems quite interesting because you had done your BTech and MTech both in civil,
Hmm.
and but you got selected in a software form, core software form. So we would, of course, we will talk about your journey, but before that, we can discuss more about various jobs. Like there were I guess two jobs of Oracle.
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah,
was applications engineer, and the another was member of technical staff.
yeah.
So, which jobs did you apply for, and what are the difference between these two jobs primarily? So, if you could tell us about that as well.
Our department was only allowed to apply for this applications engineer profile. We are not allowed to apply for this server technology profile. But I think we will be handling more of the application side, like the front end side, and the server technology will do the back end side of software. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Ritu. So we can talk a bit about your MTech specialization, and as we know that there are several specializations in civil MTech civil engineering at IIT Bombay. So if you could tell us a bit about your specialization and other specializations as well in civil engineering.
Okay. So, a civil department offers seven specializations: structural, transportation, geotechnical, water resource, ocean engineering, and then remote sensing and construction management. Uh, my specialization was geotechnical engineering, and it deals with soil foundation. You know, the
Yeah.
structures need to have some foundation, so
Yes.
foundation design and ground improvement. If some soil, if some structure needs protection because of its underneath soil, then we provide some improvement to the ground. Those kind of things.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I get it more or less. I get it, even though I don't come from that background, but yeah, I can understand part bits and pieces of it. Yes. So now we can talk about, in case of master student, they have this curiosity or at least this doubt that what MTP should they work for or which topic should they select actually. So in your case, did your MTech specialization like geotechnical or your MTP help you in your placements?
No, it did not. Actually, I didn't properly started my MTP in the stage one, that is the placement semester. I did mostly literature review and then the first stage of the problem. Like I had to do some analytical work related to maths and then mechanics, those kind of things. So it was completely different from what I was preparing for placements and doing for MTP.
Okay, so mainly your, I guess your programming skills and your other projects or courses, they helped you in placements more as compared to your master's project.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
That's why I didn't put even much of my course projects and my MTP description in the non-core resume I prepared.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yes. So by looking at your resume, as we can see that you have a sound knowledge of programming, like you have a good command over algorithms and data structures, and you also,
Exactly.
got certifications from HackerRank. So I am a bit interested in, this journey. Like, when did you think that you should go for coding, and how did you? Because in case of, civil, mechanical, or several other departments as well, people sometimes find coding challenging, or at least they don't know how to start with, or how will they compete with other students. So how
Yeah.
did you start your journey of programming, and how did you, which resources did you access primarily for learning coding?
Yeah. So when I came to IIT Bombay, to be honest, I didn't think that I would switch my department.
Yeah.
I was mostly focusing on MTech, and after that, maybe my plan was doing PhD.
Yes.
But after first semester, I like one of my friend introduced me to this type of coding, competitive coding, and then I started reading it. Got me like it made me curious. Like you can think by your logic and then solve any kind of today's problem, like in a simple way, more simple way. So it was mainly fun at first. I started reading many of the algorithms and some data structures as well, and then transferred to some advanced data structures. And after getting some confidence in this area, like I knew some basic C++ coding in my we all do in our BTech, like BTech first semester we had one basic C++
Yeah.
course. So that I did. So I knew the basics, but I didn't know how to play with this different algorithms and data structures, their implementations and their applications, when to use them, and which problem is more suitable for which kind of data structures. Those I had to read. So I read those from Geeks for Geeks. Like that is a very popular website, and you can find any question in there. Like those people do really good work in them there, and so I read those first, and after getting some confidence that I can do questions by myself, I started doing interview with. That is a coding platform where you code and then pass all the test cases that they provide in that platform. So there were about 150 to 200 questions. So I did all of those.
Yeah.
I spent some time in there. And when I used to do the those type of coding, I couldn't think of something else actually. I couldn't think that I had a MTP to complete and all those things. I got so involved in that I spent most of my time in coding. I really enjoyed that. And after finishing interview bit, I started doing lead code. It was more or less same, but I did again for practice and about 200 questions there. And also our institute had some kind of weekly tests, coding tests
Yes.
during the placement season. So that also that happened in HackerRank platform. So I attended those also, and In HackerRank, actually, after attending that, only HackerRank suggested that in my profile that you can take that test and get this certificate, intermediate problem solving skill. So I attended that. It was mainly medium type of question. Two questions were there. You have to solve in 1 hour. So I did that and I got the certificate. It was not that big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ritu. So as I can perceive that you had a basic programming in your BTech days, and then after joining masters, you started intensive coding by various platforms. Like you started with gigs for gigs, and then you switched on to interview bits followed by lead code.
Yeah.
And I find it really inspiring or impressive that you solved more or less 500 questions, like 200 from interview bits, some similar number of questions from lead code. So more
Yeah.
or less you were solving quite a few good problems on a daily basis. And as you have mentioned that placements will also conduct several coding tests, so those tests also helped you to go for it. So I think here we can talk, more about, coding, because in case of, we have talked this before as well, that people sometimes really find it somewhat challenging, like how should we start coding, or so maybe you can suggest something like how should we overcome that fear, because
Yeah.
nowadays coding is a must. More or less every
Yeah.
company is demanding coding in some way or the other. So if you could give
Yes.
some tips, like what are the barriers which we should overcome?
So if you don't know anything about C++, then that will be difficult. For me, it was because I knew very basic C++. So I had to first read all the codes, even see the solutions also to get to know what are the syntaxes, even to get me familiar with those. And the first thing is you need to read. You need to read a lot, like different kinds of sorting and searching algorithms first. Those are the basics, and then from there you get to other kind of data structures too, like stack and queue, and then matrices,
Yeah.
and then maps and hash maps. And the thing is, when you know their implementation, when you know how they're implemented, and what their applications can be, you can understand when to use them and which problem will be suitable for those. So by reading only you can get a good hold on those.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So now we can talk more about your, yours master's age of 2 years. You are a teaching assistant, TA
Yeah. Yeah.
student. Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, means I find it really appealing that you solved quite a few problems over the span of I don't know how many months. So like, in which semester did you start programming actually?
I started reading actually in between my classes because we had intensive amount of courses, like 6 courses in first and second semester.
Yeah.
So in first semester I was completely focusing on my MTech, and in second semester I started reading in between classes, and we also had TA work as well,
Yes.
so TA lab. And so I didn't had much time then, but after, actually I studied properly after the lockdown happened.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it was mostly 2 3 months actually,
Yes.
maximum 4 months I did spent on this.
Yes.
I had to do some of the computer science courses as well, because some of the companies, they ask MCQs in their tests, and if you're applying for a software developer role, you should know some basics computer science subjects. So I did OS, and that is operating system, networks, some basic networks, and oops, and then DBMS, those things. So in those 4 months, I covered uh, this coding side, and then this basic computer science subjects, and also I did some of the data science courses as well to keep my other options open.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess you utilized your lockdown pretty well in that case.
yeah.
Yes, yes, and we can also conclude that you were studying more or less programming courses as compared to your core courses. Means you
I
were.
didn't add any code courses. Actually, we could take if we want, but it wasn't compulsory, so I didn't take. And my guide also didn't ask me to take any courses.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, so I guess you started reading codes and some skill set in your second semester, and then you focused in your third semester.
yeah, practicing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, practicing part. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess similarly, other students would also take a lesson from this if they are looking for software profiles. So in that case, they can follow your pedagogy or your methodology. Like they should start early, I guess.
yeah. If you don't know, if you are coming from a entirely different background, and if you are interested in software, then you need to start early, I think.
Yes,
Because still I didn't have any of the software projects. So if I would start a little bit earlier, then I could have some software projects, and that would help me. In my case, it didn't occur in the interview, but maybe it could occur for someone else.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and I guess in case of software also you have to compete with students from
Yeah,
business background.
yeah, yeah,
So there you have to prove yourself and you have to be at par. Like, yeah.
yeah. Because some of the companies, they do real filtering in the resume shortlisting round, and then you will not get selected in comparison with those computer science students and BTech students, because they took computer science as minor, and they do many software projects,
Yes.
software development projects. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, Ritu. So now we can again switch back to your placement experience, like the steps which happened after signing the JAF. Yes. So was there any CPI cutoff in that JAF?
No CPI cutoff, and everyone were selected for the shortlisting test, technical test.
Okay. So those who signed the JAF, they were allowed to appear for the test. So now we can talk about the test, like the things or the sections or the questions, somewhat if you remember all those things. So we can talk a bit about the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Oracle test is a bit different from other software tests, other software company tests, because they don't ask you coding question. Like they don't ask you to code question and pass them like that. They will ask section wise section. There were two sections, I think. One was technical section and one was aptitude section.
Okay.
So aptitude, it was mainly English and some simple maths. And technical sections we had to solve. No, didn't solve. We had to read. Like there were time limit for every question, I think, and we had to read very big coding, and then choose from some options, which is the part of some sections, and like that. Like it was mainly based on data structures, advanced data structures, like BST, and then uh, I think APL tree. Those uh, data structures were there.
Okay. So, Miss, and what, how many questions were there? Do you remember that?
There were many questions. Like I couldn't finish within time. Obviously, there were many questions, and every question has had some time, I think,
Okay. So,
and yeah, like that.
yeah. So every question means both in aptitude and technical sections.
Yeah, yeah. Both.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yes. And what platform was used for this particular test? Do you remember?
That I don't remember. No,
Oh.
maybe their own platform.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And how much time was allotted? 1 hour? What? How much time?
I think 1 hour or
One
one and
hour.
a half.
And
Yeah,
in that 1 hour, you have to finish both aptitude and technical.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So we can talk, more because aptitude test people prepare it well, and thanks to the placement cell that they also conduct
Mm,
aptitude test. Like we have pariksha tests, we have
mm.
institute aptitude tests. So those tests, I guess, suffice the need of the students. If we
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
studying that test, so we can easily clear any aptitude test.
Mm.
Now we can talk about your technical test a bit. Like you have mentioned that you studied programming to solve the MCQs.
Whenever I read the data structure problems, I read their implementations as well, like how they are implemented, their different functions, and what they're used for. So I knew their structures, internal structures. So that helped me to go through this MCQs. If you know the concept of this data structures, then you can solve actually. Then you can easily read the code in any language. even if it's not in your in your best language. Like if you are comfortable with C++ and if it is in Java also, you can understand the coding.
Yes, yes, true. So in your case, your in-depth studying or your thorough study or understanding of data structures, those things help you to answer the
Mm.
questions, answer the
Yeah,
MCQs. Yeah. So
yeah.
any programming specific question like C, C++, or Python in that Oracle technical test, or it was
No,
general?
no. General questions only, like data structures questions.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, only on data structures or some kind of database management,
No, no,
some.
no. Those subjects questions were not there, but I think some debugging questions were also there. Like
Okay,
which part of,
by debugging we mean.
like maybe a code is given, and some section they said like this section can be replaced by this or this or this, like that.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. So, okay, of course, we cannot remember all the questions, whatever questions appear,
Yeah.
we cannot remember it, and it has been so long now, so we
Mm.
cannot remember them. It's quite obvious. But in your case, just to reiterate for our viewers, like you studied Gigs for Gigs, you
Mm.
used that platform to study the concepts, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then you again switched on to interview bits for practicing the questions, followed by lead code.
Yeah.
Any other resource you want to name which you find very instrumental in your preparation from programming
Uh,
perspective?
if time suffices you, then you can do in Hacker Earth also. Hacker rank is, I think it's mostly very difficult. It gets very difficult when you switch to medium. Easy is very easy, and medium is like, some medium is okay, but some medium is very difficult. So it will not be helpful in placement. Like those type of questions they don't ask, and Hacker Earth is very useful, I think,
Yes.
because some of the interviews questions were from there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. And as you have mentioned that we need to invest at least 4 to 5 months. So anything you want to add in the test part? You like you feel something you want to add in the test or?
Um, no, I think be quick. Like it
Yes.
will be a time specific test,
Yes.
and just practice reading code quickly. Like try to understand the concept, and then you will be able to solve.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As you have mentioned that, I think it's also unique in case of Oracle that they
Yeah,
are having time on each and every particular question.
yeah,
So
yeah,
in that case, it's also become very interesting and challenging both.
yeah. And coding question time is given, that is very unique. Aptitude time specific, we had other companies as well, but
Yeah.
coding time was not there. Oracle only, I think.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, which programming language did you prefer actually? Like you have mentioned that you had a basic course on C++ in your BTech, but now
Hmm.
while practicing for placements, which language did you
Hmm.
prefer?
I did with C++.
Okay, you went with C++.
Hmm.
Because nowadays people sometimes they
Huh.
find Python a bit.
Python basic,
Yeah.
very useful. Yeah,
Yes.
because the number of lines get reduced in Python.
Yes.
They have many predefined functions there.
Yeah.
But I did with C++. I could have uh, read Python, but I did the Python with data science projects.
Yes, I was going to discuss the same thing that in your resume you have done quite a few machine learning projects and you have also highlighted them as machine learning projects in your resume. So I am assuming that for those projects you would have used Python as your tool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, so that way you could cover both C++ and Python.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So another thing, like in your case, you have also done virtual learning, like several online courses you have done, like machine learning by Andrew Ng, professional data science by IBM. These things you have done. So where did you get to know about these resources?
So before placement, as I said, I was keeping my options open. So I was also doing this coding thing, and parallelly, I was reading the data science courses. So firstly, I started with this basic course, that is Introduction to Machine Learning by Andrew Ng. We all know that is available in Coursera,
Yeah.
and I think everyone does that during placement. So that is the basic. And after that, I thought I got interested in machine learning also. Like it's very interesting when you read the algorithms can solve many problems, real life problems. Um, so by searching the Coursera only, I got to know about this professional data science course by IBM, and it was an accumulation of 9 different courses that included data modeling, then data visualization, open source tools, and then cloud databases. Some were there. Machine learning was also there again. So I studied all those 9 courses, and at the end of that course, we had to do one final project. And for that, I did one clustering algorithm project by my own. And with that, I gained some confidence that I can take one problem and solve that by using the machine learning algorithms that I've learned earlier. So after that, I took some open source projects, like the datas were available, and those are very basic projects like linear regression and SPM and those things. So I did 2 or 3 projects as well, and I put them in GitHub.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, Ritu, in your case, why did not you opt for any, IIT Bombay course on data science? Like we have several departments offering machine learning courses mainly. So, why
Yeah.
did you not select those courses for your preparation or for your projects?
I think in that semester, I don't think any department was offering that course. And in the second semester, I searched for these courses in our instinct. And in the computer science department, it is there that if you are taking some beginner level course, that is 101 course, and you are a MTech PG student, you are not allowed to take those courses. So yeah, and I can't take the CSPG courses because that will be very high. I can't understand.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
I thought it's okay to go through this online courses.
Yeah, yeah. So I think in your case, like your case, that the way in which you did several projects on your own, I think that will also help others to lay down their own path, because at several times we are sometimes not in a position to take IITB courses because that slot clashes and
True.
all these things, and also that course might be tough or somewhat it might be. So I think then we can go for online courses, and there we can do self-paced courses to get the idea, and that you have done pretty well. Like you put solve the projects and then you put it on GitHub, so that way you can also showcase it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So yes, Ritu. So I guess then we have covered pretty much, your brief journey and your, how did you start programming? How did you become so good, in programming? And we have also talked about your machine learning projects and all these things. And we also talked about the test, which was connected by Oracle departments, all these things we have discussed. So I guess we have covered the things which happened, before the interview, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you feel which you want to add in this before the interview part?
If you are, one thing I would say that if you are able to take any NST course, then you should take that only. Because online course will be very brief and it will be mostly involved with the practical point of view. Like theory part will not be that much. So it's always good to get a institute level course. Because that way you will have the class assignments too. You
Yeah.
will have a mid sem to test your knowledge.
Yes.
So it is always better.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So, in your opinion, we should prefer IITB, it means institute level courses we should prefer.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
because I even if I did those online courses, I had to see some YouTube videos as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and there were some gate preparation videos, gate smashers, I think, for operating system networks, the BMS, and oops, I watched those videos to get my knowledge more sharp. because
Yes.
online courses don't provide you with that much knowledge.
Yeah. So I guess you, apart from data structure algorithms, you also studied other techniques, like you have also mentioned in your resume, like operating system, socket programming. These things you also studied from several other resources.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And gigs for gigs only actually.
Yeah, gigs for gigs. Yeah. So somehow I feel that you were pretty much into the software engineering profile, so that you were gaining as much as you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
as much as I could, because more could be done if time were there,
Yeah.
you know, because I didn't have any proper software engineering, software development project with me. I just knew how to do those and what were the basic points for like socket programming and operating system, the theory part, basic theory part. But if I had to do some project, I would get more knowledge by doing those.
Yeah. Yes, definitely, definitely. It's true.